And here is the very unfortunate thing about social media. You see, 20 years ago, if you were, let's say 21 years old and you were making $4,000 a month without having to go to a traditional 9 to 5, you would think that you are a king. You would think that you're a baller. You would think that you are killing it. And we live in such a fucked up world where now you look online and you think, I'm 21 years old and I don't work a traditional 9 to 5 and I have location freedom and I have time freedom. I can wake up whenever I want, but I'm only making $4,000 a month. I'm not making $10,000 a month. And you feel depressed because of it. How up is that? And by the way, I even know that I have a part to play in that because what I've been able to do in my career at my age is not normal. But that's why I always like to tell people that, listen, what I've done is very unrealistic. And a third of it was incredible dedication and hard work. A third of it was timing, creating the right businesses at the right time. And the last third of it was luck or God or whatever you want to call it, whether you're a person of faith or not. Up to you. So I like to make that very clear to people. And then I also like to point people back to 2015 when I was broke and I was starting a business to take care of me and my single mom. And I was going to the gym every single day and recording it. I was reading a book a week and putting out on YouTube. So you need to understand, I started my first business, my first venture. And at that point, it was really more of a side hustle. But still, I was making a few $1,000s a month back in 2014. And granted, I only did that for a few months. And then that business model stopped working. And then I moved to the next thing. But really the point is, I was putting in work between 2014 to 2017. And it took me 3 years to hit my first $10,000 a month. And that's totally fine. That's actually pretty cool. If you work as hard as I did, do I think it will take you 3 years? No, because it's so crazy. The internet moves so quickly that back in 2014, I didn't have the opportunities that you can have today. Even things like getting payment processors was so difficult back then. It was such a struggle to even just try to do business being a 14-year-old, whereas these days you have so many more options. So do I think it will take you 3 years? If you really dedicate, pick the right vehicle, follow all of the advice that I give you in this video, do I think that it will take you 3 years? No, honestly, no. But even if it does, who cares? I really cannot stress how vital it is that you set your expectations to making $10,000 a month. Set your expectation not in months, but in years. Don't think how many months it's gonna take me. Think how many years. Now, here's the thing. If you achieve it quicker, bless you. That's amazing. I'm over the moon for you. And listen, try to get rich faster. Of course, do it. Wealth needs to be built slowly, and wealth is built over time, but try to get rich. Try to make as much money as you can. Ethically and morally, that is. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to set these expectations for you because here's the thing. Many of you guys will try, and let's say you're giving your absolute best for 6 months. And if your expectations are, oh, within 6 months, I was expecting to be doing $7,000 already, and you're only doing $1,200 from your online business. Dude, you're making $1,200 online. Do you realize how amazing that is? And here's the beautiful thing. When it rains, it pours. And by the way, that also applies negatively and positively in life. And the point here is, this is usually how business works. And this is what I can tell you now, coming up to 10 years since I started my first side hustle and getting to the point where I have a conglomerate of businesses and over 150 employees. The way it works is usually something like this. It goes like this, then you flatline for the longest time. And right as you're thinking like, am I just gonna be stuck here forever? It shoots up, and then you flatline, it shoots up. And by the way, within these points, you have little down moments and stuff like that. But the point is, there's a lot of flatlining. There's a lot of you getting to a new level in life and then really cementing it, really setting that foundation. So I wanted to make this clear, and I wanted to make this one of the other components, just so that way your expectations are clear, they're in the right place, and so you don't quit before you even properly try. Now, the last component to making $10,000 a month, and it's kind of like if you're running a marathon. I would much rather tell people that, hey, on mile 18, that's really gonna be the tough mile. That's really where things are gonna get rough, because at least when you face something, if you have context beforehand, it makes it a little easier and you feel less alone. So I wanna give you guys context not only for how to get to 10K, but what happens once you hit 10K. You see, the third component is not just getting there, it's staying there. You see, making $10,000 a month, and once again, I'm really trying my best not to be insensitive here. I get it, I have done it, I've witnessed thousands of people do it, even in my close proximity. So I know that for me, it may seem easier than for you guys. For some of you guys, you may be looking at this and going, okay, well, it's easy for you to say, but trust me, you'll understand in due time. Making $10,000 a month is the easy part. Continuing to make $10,000 a month, that's where it gets difficult, and also keeping that money and then multiplying it, growing your wealth over time. And rather than acting like some new money idiots, learn from old money. Even in my situation, even though I am new money, I knew from day one that I would make it, but I always promised myself that I would study old money to understand how to actually keep it and multiply my wealth. So the third component of making $10,000 a month is understanding that once you get there, you're not done. That is actually simply just the beginning. Now it is time to cement your place, have that as a baseline. And the crazy thing is, we all have financial baselines. For me, I remember when my baseline was $1,000 a month. And this is around 6 years ago. I was still in school at this point. And that doesn't mean what you're trying to make, what you're aiming to make. It just means if you go below that point, it will keep you up. You're like, this, it doesn't match your identity. You're like, this isn't me. And I remember when I went from $1,000 and then went to $5,000 and then went to $10,000. And listen, since then I've been very blessed to have an amazing career, and it's gone up to $100,000 a month and now $1 million a month. And God willing, at some point it'll be a few $1 million a month, and that'll be my absolute baseline. I can't even conceive a reality where it's less than that. So the point I'm trying to make is, Once you get to 10K a month, it's more than about making it an identity. It's more than about making that as your baseline. As I said, your financial identity is not where you're aiming for. It's where anything below that, and you would just feel off. You'd be like, this isn't me. I'm better than this. So number one is get to 10K a month. And once you get there, make it your financial identity. And once that is solid and that's locked in, then you can keep working your way up the ranks. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has been useful to you. And as always, I'm watching you from afar and I'm rooting for you.